Hello everyone, in this video we are going to continue our conversation about the imaginary number. In the last video we had an introduction about the definition for that, and also we do some simplification regarding how to simplify the number involving the square root of negative number. So in this video we are going to do a little bit more practice. We are going to look at these three expressions here and to see how do we simplify those expressions. Let's check one by one. So again, as we mentioned, when we deal with square root of negative number, we always need to use this basic definition, I is square root of negative 1. So how do I do that? I'm going to break down each part with 9 and negative 1. Same thing here, and negative 1. So I basically break down negative 16 as 16 times negative 1. So this one, this one becomes 3i because square root of 9 is 3, and square root of 16 is 4i. Again, do not forget the definition of I is square root of negative 1, so instead of using this, I put I. Now, it's very similar to the combined items because it's like if you put 3x plus 4x, what's the answer? Is 7x, right? Same thing here, so 3i plus 4i, which is 7i. That's it. That's the first answer. Pretty straightforward, right? So next one, this one, again, I'm going to break down as 10 radical 1, but this one I'm going to break down as 250 times radical 1. So this one is radical 10i, but if you prefer to put I in the front, which is also fine. But this one I'm going to do a little bit more work because square root of 250, I'm going to break down as 25 times 10. Why? Because 25 is a perfect square number, which is a 10 here, I here. So it's a square root of 10i minus 5, the square root of 10i. So very similar to combined like terms. We have a square root of 10 minus 5 square root 10i. So if you combine this, it's going to be negative 4 square root of 10i. And sometimes you will see we put I in the middle. Again, they are all equivalent. So if you do have a question regarding how do I subtract this two as this one, just imagine this like an invisible 1 in front of a square root of 10 minus 5 square root of 10. So minus 5, which is negative 4 square root of 10. Okay, that's how do we do this one. This is just side note here. Okay, let's do one more practice. This practice is a little bit complicated, right? Because it's a 3 in front of a, but do not forget, if you put a 3 on any number in front of this, the relation between these two is still multiplication. So it's more like, you just have a coefficient next to that. So how do I deal with? Again, I'm going to deal with this as this. We just, break down each part. If you prefer to work on each part individually, do that too, as long as you can see your work clearly. And then I just break down this as 9 and 3. So this one becomes I. Do not forget, let me use a different color. This square root of negative 1 is always defined I. This is just basic definition. Do not forget that. And this, again, how do I deal with 48? We actually did some similar practice before. Always think about a perfect square number, which is going to be 16 and 3. So that will be a better option. So now square root of 9 is 3, so I'm going to copy everything. Do not miss items here. So I just copy 3, copy down 3. Just make an arrow here, and this becomes 3, and this is square root of 3i. And plus, again, 4 times this becomes 4, and the square root of 3, I just copied down everything, right? With the arrow, you know exactly where is that term coming from. So 3 times 3 is 9 radicals 3i. And this one is 16 radicals 3. Oh, sorry for that. I. Okay, now we just, combine this together. Very similar to this one before. This like, deal with coefficients. So 9 and 16, which is 25 radicals 3i. You can also simplify or just put an I in the middle. Really doesn't matter where do you put it. And that's it. The final answer is like this. Again, the 3 terms here is just multiplication, so it really doesn't matter the order you put here. So that's how we simplify these expressions by using I. This is the most fundamental definition to help us to simplify the expression here. But certain basic strategies we use, such as combine like terms and combine like terms, but when you deal with a radical number, it's still combine like terms. Okay, this is how do we do this one. I hope this video is helpful. Thank you so much for checking this. See you soon, everyone.